What am I doing here? Well, today's episode is all about soccer. We're going to learn from some of the best here in the Valley, and we're going to show you guys why soccer is rising in popularity in America. Welcome to episode 12 of the Circus Catch. All right. Did I go in?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Circus Catch. I'm Jordan Wright, joined by a very special guest today. Brooklyn Morris joins the show. Brooklyn, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, of course. I'm excited.
Brooklyn is the head coach of the women's soccer team at College of the Sequoias. Brooklyn, I want to get an idea from you how this whole thing came about from start to finish when you first decided that you fell in love with soccer. Do you have a key moment that came to mind, maybe when you were younger, of why you fell in love with this game?
I don't have like a specific key moment, but I've played soccer my entire life. Like honestly, since I could walk, my parents put me in soccer. I grew up in a soccer family. Like everything was soccer in our household. The first time I tried out for a club team, I was in 4th grade and I made it. And I was at South Valley, which is still a club in town. And I think that really got me realizing I can be something in soccer, a little more competitive. I was more excited than just, playing in AYSO. So I think that was probably it. And that just kind of just kept going from there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I fell in love with soccer maybe 6 months ago, so it's a little bit of a difference between you and I. But
Yeah.
I think how they promoted this last World Cup really got to me. So that's really how I've been starting to follow the sport a lot more, and just kind of wanted to do this expose on it. When you were growing up and you started to play, when you were in those clubs, did you find yourself favoring a certain position? Is there something that you like to do a little bit more than others?
When I first started, I'm really short right now, but like I was tiny, and my coach at the time was kind of like skeptical on where to play me ever because I was so small, and he started playing me on the outside mid, and I'm not fast because I'm so small. So that didn't work out well, and I ended up finding myself in the middle, center mid, mainly a 6. I played both 6 or the 10 or the 8, whichever, but I like the 6 the most.
I think they invented a position for me. It was the leftover position. Whatever they had left, that's kind of where I was when I was in AYSO. But do you have, when you were in your playing days, like a favorite memory that you might have of the game, or maybe of a team or a teammate, or a certain moment that you have that's special to you?
I played college at Sierra Nevada University. It's in Lake Tahoe, a very small school. Like I'm telling you, like 500 kids max. And so
Wow.
We didn't always have 500, and all athletes. It was a really cool school, but our soccer team was pretty small because it's hard to recruit soccer players in a place where it's an outdoor sport and it's snowing all the time. So we one time went and traveled. I don't remember where we were playing, but we managed to fit our entire team in one van, like the Mercedes. I don't know, those big vans.
The big
that people
caravan, yeah.
Yeah. We fit our entire team in that, and then we had to pick up a recruit to come back with us and visit us, and we had to sit like 3 girls in the trunk of the van, and we got really close to that trip because it was like 3 or 4 hours in the back, and
Literally.
yes.
Yeah.
And that was an experience that now that school is no longer a school, I think I can say that legally.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it was a experience, and that's one I'll remember forever. And that recruit ended up she came to our school and she left, but that's something that she talked about all the time.
If it's not legal, I'll just beep your name out, and we make sure we won't incriminate
My
you.
coach will laugh if he sees it now.
Speaking of coaching, how has the transition been from going to a player to going to a coach? I know it's a world of difference going between the two.
My experience was kind of unique because I came back from college in 2020, and I hadn't even finished college yet because of COVID hit,
Mhm.
and I was finishing out online. But I got offered. My dad was going to be the assistant at COS with Coach Ryan Rowland-Smith, and my dad was going to move to Texas. Kind of, not that it was last minute, but it was just something that kind of they were doing it right then and there. And so my dad was leaving, and Ryan was also a contractor, and he was fixing the house I'm living in. And he was like, well, Brooklyn, do you want to be the assistant? And I was like, oh, okay, sure, kind of going about it, because I was 21 at the time. And that was like kind of, I don't know, I was like, are the same age as these players, basically. So I said yeah. And then at the same time, I was offered a coaching position at another club in town, CVP, which I'm still doing that as well. And it's different because, I don't know, as a coach, I think I have higher expectations. As a player, I had very high expectations, but as a coach, I'm just like, I know you have so much more to give, and I enjoy pushing the players and seeing what they have, but it's just different. You're more of a motivator now, and you really have to see everything from so many different perspectives, because I mean, you have so many players to work with, so many different things, rather than just yourself playing on a field. You're analyzing all of these players and what can they do best, how can I get the best out of them. So it's a lot more challenging, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I actually have coaching experience coaching soccer.
Nice.
Even though I know next to nothing about the sport. It's funny. One of my first jobs, I used to work at an after school program. They needed a soccer coach for their middle schoolers. I took my 2 or 3 best players aside, and I was like, hey guys, what are we doing? Like you got to help me out here. So a little bit different. You're definitely very well versed in the game, where I was not, but it was a lot of fun. And like you said, getting the best out of the players, that's something that's extremely rewarding. So this current job that you just took with COS, how did that one specifically come about?
So like I said, I was an assistant from 2020, and then 2021, I think, is when our new coach at the time, Elliot Horde, came on. And he was a previous professional player for, he played for Fuego, he played for Sac Republic, and he was a legit guy coming in, and I was like, man, I hope he kind of keeps us on, because it's nice to work with the college team, because the expectations, everything, they just challenge each other. And he came on for the past 2 years, so I was able to work as one of his assistants. And then he decided to move just for life things, and he had recommended me to take over, as well as the athletic director. He said, like, I've been watching, and I think that she's ready. And so that was really it. And then I went through the interview process and got it. I've been there for a few years, so it kind of gave me a step above. But that was really it.
Awesome. Last question for you real quick, Brooklyn. What challenges do you see specifically when it comes to coaching that might be obstacles for some that you've had to find yourself pushing through and overcoming?
I think for me specifically, I'm a much younger coach than a lot of others I see, and especially on the college side of things. Like, it's mainly older guys, honestly, and I'm a young female, and I honestly, like, I kind of look like one of the players, so I kind of get mixed into that quite often, that no one really sees that I am a coach until I start yelling. But it's different, I think, to gain respect in a way, being a female coach as well as being a young female coach, because people kind of question you, and you have to kind of earn their respect, earn their trust, and it makes it more difficult than just coming in as someone else, So I'm learning how to go about that still, and I've been dealing with it obviously since 2020, since I started coaching, and I was younger at the time, so now I kind of have a little bit more under me, so I have more to speak on, and I'm excited to see where it goes, but it's still going to be something I think I continue to face as my coaching career grows.
I've got all the faith in the world in you. Your players have all the faith in the world in you. This is Brooklyn Morris. She's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Welcome back to the show. Here sitting with me now, I have Nick Butler. Nick has been playing soccer his entire life. Nick, thank you for coming on the show today.
Appreciate you having me, Jordan. You're doing an excellent job, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Nick, I want to talk to you. Obviously, this episode is about soccer. Let's talk about how you first got into the sport when you were growing up.
Yeah, so ever since I was probably 5 years old, I started playing. And I think a big factor in why that was is my siblings. My sister played, my brother played, both older. And I kind of just liked playing with them, and the more I played, the better I got. Tried other sports down the road, but nothing quite stuck out like soccer did for me. So I was pretty good with it, and a lot of times I was playing above my age group, so it was fun. Yeah, I think family had a lot to do with it for sure.
Do you have a favorite memory growing up when you were playing, something that sticks out in your mind, specifically above anything else that you were doing?
For me, playing or watching the sport?
Either one.
Yeah, playing. Like I said, I think just being, I don't mean to sound arrogant here, but
Do it. There's a reason you're on the show.
But
humble brags.
Yeah, I mean, scoring goals definitely fueled me. I think being so good, and I think being able to play on older age groups as well, it was something that I wanted to continue to work at, and I just had it was like stepping on the field. You hear it a lot. It's just things outside of the world just they cut off, and whatever you're doing on the field, that's all that matters. And for me, that's what I liked about the game. And watching it as a fan, the best moment that I think I've ever had was Landon Donovan's goal against Algeria. That was back in 2006 World Cup, I want to say. And I was probably a senior or junior in high school. Watching that game live, man, just so many different emotions. Just a roller coaster of emotions. And
right on. Hey, we got your biggest fan coming up right here.
Yeah, well, maybe one day she'll be as good as Nick Butler. We'll see.
Going from past to present real quick, let's just talk about what you're doing nowadays with soccer. Obviously, growing up, it was a big part of your life, but you're sticking with it now, from what I understand. What are you doing nowadays?
Yeah, so I think there was a span of years where I didn't play at all, and part of that was just being busy, having kids. But nowadays, I do play indoor soccer. There's a new facility that just opened up in Bicey that's pretty amazing. They have
Nice.
3 indoor fields, and yeah, it's just a good time. I mean, I think apart from playing after the games, you also can have a brew, so that makes it even better.
Good part about being an adult playing, yeah, absolutely.
But outside of that, I really want to try and maybe coach my kids up. I did have Maya playing for a little bit, and she. I think being on a team, sometimes they don't get the individual coaching that they need. So one thing I want to do a better job at is just giving her that time and seeing what she can do, even if it's not soccer. I mean, whatever it is, I just want to be involved and researching ways to get better. So
why is it so important for you right now to be involved in soccer as an adult?
I think it's kind of giving back to the game. I think, like I said, I've played since I was 5 and picked up a lot of things along the way, and want to be able to share some of the knowledge that I've gained over the years and help whoever it is out there that could benefit from it. Hopefully one day my daughters will, but nonetheless, just sharing that experience and knowledge that I've had over the years.
Soccer has always been far and away one of the biggest sports worldwide. It seems like America has been a little bit further behind a lot of other countries. To what do you attribute the sudden rise of soccer in this country over the last couple of years? Not that it hasn't always been popular, but now we're seeing a very big rise in the sport as it is right now.
The MLS, I think, still has a lot to improve on, and hopefully I think that they'll get there. But I think it's more than just one thing, right? So there's a lot of things that contribute to the game being a little bit more popular here in the States. One that I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on as well, but I think that with CTE and injuries in football occurring, I think a lot of people, do they really want their kids to play in a are they thinking differently? Like, hey, let's go with soccer. It's maybe you don't have to worry too much about the brain. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that people are having thoughts like that when they're younger?
Yeah, that's a huge concern now. Especially, and I know you're a dad of girls. I'm a dad of boys, so that's something that I've definitely thought about, whether or not to put the kids in football. And a lot of other boy dads that I'm talking to as well, that's something that's a huge concern of theirs, because you see so many injuries, not only to the head, but we see scary injuries on the field that have nothing to do with that. And not that it can't happen in soccer. Soccer is obviously still a contact sport, but it's not as much contact, or else they would be wearing more than just shin pads out there.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think they made adjustments in soccer as well. I think I'd have to go back, but I think it's maybe under 12 where you can't head the ball. I think they want you to be a little bit older than a certain age, and before it was, at whatever age you started playing.
Yeah, when I was in AYSO, we were heading the ball. We didn't care.
Exactly. Yeah. But so I think that also contributes to it. I mean, I think there's more people playing at an early age, and I think that sort of continues down the road, and they start to play in high school, and obviously the quality of soccer has gotten better in the U.S., and I think that contributes to it. More people playing. I think, it's crazy, man. When I was playing in middle school, I was actually kind of embarrassed. I didn't like it to be known that I was playing soccer. I mean, we would be able to wear our jerseys on game day, and I wouldn't do it. Like, it was not many people. It wasn't a popular sport. People kind of looked down on it. I think even when I got into high school, a lot of times, the football coach would want me to be the kicker. That's kind of like the only reason he liked me. and for 3 years, I denied it. Like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to stick with soccer. Just stick with one sport. And in those 3 years, from freshman to junior, he would literally call me a communist, just because I wasn't playing football. I mean, that's just how they viewed the game back then.
Sure.
And then,
and I mean, you grew up in the South too, where football is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's soccer's like almost non-existent. It's football or nothing, basically.
I get that. Yeah. I mean, pretty much any high school around here, the kicker was the best soccer player in football. Yeah. So totally get that. For me personally, I think that marketing of the 2022 World Cup was something that played a huge factor as well. There was a lot better job of getting ads on TV, on the internet, social media, all that kind of stuff. Definitely made me pay more attention as a fan as well, and started getting me into the game a lot more. Also, I don't know if you've seen this, but Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought they call it a football club, obviously, in Europe, in Wales, Wrexham AFC.
Right.
That documentary that I watched the whole thing was awesome. They did a really masterful job of it, and I know it's a marketing ploy, but it works. It got me hooked.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think they actually made it quite far in the FA Cup. I think they might still be in it as we speak. So, it's definitely something to someone like that, powerful coming in, or not, maybe not even like powerful, but that popular, buying a club and then, just going out and selling the club and getting players, and they're doing quite well. Maybe we'll see them in the Premier League one day.
That's the goal. That's the goal for them. It's a lofty goal, but I mean, if anyone can do it, maybe it's them.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you so much for coming on for the interview. I do want to keep you around for one more second. I haven't played soccer in years and years and years and years. I forgot how to do the basic stuff. Can you show me a few tricks of the trade?
I think, we might be able to. I mean, how much money do you have in your pocket?
Oh, I have none. I have $0. This show is taking up all my money. So.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a go. I'll give you the basics.
Let's do it.
All right, Jordan. So what kind of experience do you have with soccer?
So I played up until middle school. Wasn't that good, but I played. I coached middle schoolers about 8 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of got thrown into the job. I asked my best players, hey, how the heck do we do this? What's going on? So my level of knowledge is maybe a 2 out of 10. So I need help.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely had a lot of teammates like you over the years. I can, safely say that. I think, the most important thing, in my opinion, is when you get started is really juggling. Because I think that translates to dribbling, and then it also translates to shooting as well. I mean, a lot of times when you're taking a shot at goal or passing or anything, they always say to lock your ankles. And for me, like, I never really, I kind of knew what I was doing from the beginning. I hate to say that, but I never understood that terminology, lock your ankles. But a lot of times you can learn that just basically if you can kind of form a like form your toes into a fist, and so your toes pointing down, and it should just automatically lock your ankle. But yeah, it's so because if you just go in like just kicking, it's really not, you're not gonna get power on it. It's and you're probably gonna hurt your foot as well. So yeah, what I would do if you're just starting out or if you have kids, the best thing you could probably do, don't expect them to just juggle like this, but maybe just hit one up and just keep hitting it up. And I think that's going to teach you the best way to dribble. Like when you're getting that down, it's just going to come natural. You'll get the hang of it.
You made that look way too easy right now. I don't even think I can do that. Let's see. So I'm gonna make a fist with my foot. Wow. Yeah. No, I can't. Let me try with my other foot.
And like you know, my 6-year-old. I hate to compare you to my 6-year-old here, but
it's fine.
The best thing you can probably do, and instead of trying to roll it up and then start to juggle, maybe just pick the ball up with your hand and just start to kick it up.
Hey,
let it bounce.
That's totally fine. I'll be the first to admit there's 6-year-olds better than me at soccer.
I'm like sure it's been a while.
2 out of 10, man.
Yeah, there you go. So just keep hitting it up, man.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the hands from now on. That's much easier.
Yeah. So I think once you develop that, then you can start into going into more, dribbling, shooting, going through cones, just keeping the ball close. And I guess the best advice I could give someone that's just starting out too is use both feet, because if you can get your weaker foot to be just as good as your stronger foot, man, you're gonna have a huge advantage when it comes to playing.
Right on. We have a goal behind us. Can you show us the best way to shoot?
Yeah. So
I'll get out of your shot real quick.
There's gonna be a few ways that you can do this. If you're going for more power, you're gonna want to get over the ball and through the ball. So, and keep in mind, your plant foot should always be beside the ball. You never want your plant foot like over here. It's just going to be awkward. So if you're going for more power, make sure that plant foot's beside the ball and you're really getting over the ball and through it. So just to give you an example, just like that.
Solid.
Now, if you're going for more of accuracy or even trying to get more curve on it, that's when you're going to use more of the side of your foot. And then I guess I didn't tell you, but for power, it's more going to be kind of like that toe area right there. So going for more curve, like I said, get more of the side of your foot, and then you don't want to lean forward too much, because when you're leaning forward, all it's going to do is just stay on the ground. When you start to lean back, then it starts to pick up some air, but you don't want to lean too far back unless you're kicking a field goal. Kind of like that.
Nice. Okay, so there's a lot to keep in mind right there. We got accuracy, power, lean, but not too far back, right?
Yeah.
All right, and I'm gonna plant my foot next to the ball.
You got it.
All right. It's easy when there's no goalie, but I'm gonna see if I can keep those things in mind when I'm taking the shot.
Let's pretend you're in the World Cup final.
Oh gosh.
This PK to win the game.
All right.
And your country's never won before, man. So no
Okay.
pressure.
No pressure at all. All right. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Right to the goalie, but you know.
He pulled the keeper.
Yeah, definitely pulled the keeper on that. All right, well, Nick, thanks for coming on. Thanks for showing us a little bit about how to play soccer, about what soccer has meant to you, and just for your insight on the game in general.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, man, you're doing an excellent job with these podcasts. Keep it up. Man. And it's very nice to see the variety of sports that you're covering as well, not just the popular NFL. So it's nice to see the little guys like soccer getting some attention.
Hey, soccer's not that little anymore. Soccer is taking off in America. Thank you guys for checking this out. We'll be right back in just a second. It never rains in Southern California is a complete load of crap. It has been pouring this winter, December, January, February. Trust me, folks, we've gotten drenched here in the Golden State. LAFC versus the LA Galaxy, supposed to be the big kickoff in the MLS at the Rose Bowl of all places. Yeah, that had to get pushed back to July 4th. Going to be a great game. What a great day to put that game on. But man, that would have been an epic season opener, especially with the way that soccer is presenting itself in this country now. As you've seen in this episode, soccer is becoming one of the bigger sports in the United States. I mean, we've been kind of behind the times, sort of like the metric system. The rest of the world has already caught up, and America a little bit stuck in the ways at times, taking a little while to catch up with the rest of the world, but hey, we're getting there. MLS action going to be great this year. Hopefully I can try to get to a game this year. And you know what? I've been thinking about it. I think I need you guys to tell me which team I should follow this year. I don't have any allegiances to the MLS, but I'd like to start following a team. I'm going to start following the sport as a whole, but I want to let you guys tell me who I should follow. I think that'd be a pretty great way to pick a team, don't you? Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. I know it was unlike any other episode we've done. You know, we like to do experimental stuff here on this show. Quick note for you real quick. We have come to the halfway point of season 1. This episode 12 is going to mark the end of the first part of this saga. Taking a break. There's not going to be a show next week. Hopefully we can get on the week after that. We want to talk some March Madness. We're going to be right in the thick of the selection right there. So join us in a couple weeks when we talk about that. Thank you guys for all the support so far. We'll see you for the second half of season 1 coming March 15th. Thank you guys so much for the support. Can't appreciate you guys enough. See you soon. Peace out.